Good day, fine people. I hope you are well. My name is Nick. We're in ZXspectrum territory, looking at a game called Solar Empire, published by Players Premier in 1990. Yes, it's a game quite near the end of the Spectrum's run. Also come out in the Amstrad CPC and the Commodore 64. It's a shooter in space, and I think the cost of this was about £2.99 as we put it on, let's do joystick for a change. Now, this all takes place in a far-off galaxy, so Earth isn't involved in this time, but evil Darkons are trying to enslave the population of the entire galaxy. You're a commander of the Liberation Fleet on this worm sort of vessel, and you must go around destroying various ring worlds. Yeah, we'll see lots of stuff in my scanner around the outside of the game. We've got solar-powered generator, and we can increase the power by parking the ship near a sun, if you can find it. We've got a tractor beam, which we can use to move planets further away out of the aliens' reach. But back in the day, I'm going to play this like I would have done back in the day as a kid, just joining around in space, not quite knowing what he's doing. But it does look jolly pretty. So let's try and search out a few of these alien ring worlds and see if we can blow them up to see what effects there are. Now you can see different scanners there. You see that red one with 13 underneath it. I think that's our distance between the next ring world or alien. There's an arrow with 40, so they're all directions to different things. That might be different planets or aliens. But let's just try and blast them. On the right there, you can see the power and a damage gauge next door. Go wormy thing in space. It does look good, but, you know, as a kid back in the day, I think I would have been a little bit bewildered. Just journeying around and seeing how much stuff I can explode. Which, as an explodey spacey thing, it's performing quite well. I like the way the stars are drifting back in the background there. Bit unusual when you change directions, because a little bit of inertia where the sort of like wormy ship thing turns around there. If you had this one back in the day, let me know on any system. So Players Premier in 1990 seems quite a worthy shooter. One you need a bit of practice with, especially with towing the planets and other objects in different sort of like positions. So I've blown up all these magenta purpley things. I'm not sure if I should do, but it'd be nice to try and find some ring worlds. So if we bump into that planet, I think we'll be dead. So let's try and avoid that. There goes, well, it's not Saturn, is it? Because it's in a different galaxy. Do 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 do. I think it's one of those space games which one of the rare ones which doesn't involve stuff stolen from other sci-fi genres like Star Trek and Star Wars, so you won't see any TIE fighters floating around in this one. Score is in the left, going down horizontally, but you probably clocked that one already. Now, if you're into Spectrum games, but you're fairly new to the channel, or even if you've been with the channel a while, check out the Spectrum playlist, because there's over 700 games now to have a look at. So if you're, oh, there's a ring ship there. So if you've got a bit of time on your hands and want to bury yourself in nostalgia, click onto that playlist and watch everything. Actually, I think you need quite a few days to be able to do that. I'm not sure how many hours of footage there is there, but a lot. I think that white thing's a power-up we can get, or at least tow it somewhere else. Kaboom. Now, a game we haven't reviewed quite yet on the ZXspectrum is Elite, which is a classic, so we'll have to catch up with that one sometime. Yes, believe it or not, reviewed over 700 games and none of them have been Elite. So, destroy the evil Dargons. I'd like to get a pen and paper and go through every ZXspectrum game and write down the names of all the aliens that have ever fought in those. I bet it comes to loads and loads, just to see if anyone is a complete repeat. It's obvious, isn't it? Dargons is like they swap the A and the R around from dragons. That's possibly how they got that. Good. Right. Not sure how this plays on the Amstrad CPC or the Commodore 64. If you know and played that, then let me know as well. I love hearing how these games played on other systems. When I grew up, I owned a ZXspectrum and a Commodore Amiga. That's not to say I hate other systems. I don't. That's woolly thinking. I like all systems and seeing how the games alter on each one. So, you know, I'm not going to shout someone down for owning a different system to I do, because that's just nincompoopery. Embrace all that is retro and good from the era. But this is the ZXspectrum version, as you know. Solar Empire, quite a nice name. I'm not sure there's any films called Solar Empire. Let's try and blow up that UFO, and maybe we'll get a bit of distance as he spins around. There's a green alien there. Come on. Come on, let's maybe get a bit of a long run up here. You see that red direction? We're one away. Come on, let's try and land it. It's a little bit tricky, this. Yeah, that's it, is it? Boom. It dies. Now, it doesn't seem like much has changed, although we've taken a little bit of damage, as you can see. Power still looks pretty nifty. Still look pretty good. Odd sort of ship this. It's unique, isn't it? It's like a strange grub... Oh, died. It's strange like grub or wormy thing in the far reaches of outer space. But this isn't set in the Milky Way. It's set in a different galaxy of unknown origin. It just says far, far away, so, you know, although there's no TIE fighters, it is influenced by Star Wars a little bit then, because a galaxy far, far away, there's only ever one franchise that does that. It's Star Wars. So keep an eye on the scanners, see if you can piece together what to do. But essentially, I'm just flying around aimlessly in space, firing stuff, and trying to take out the odd flying saucer. Right, we can do this. We can do this. Kaboom! Right, come on, take it out. Take me out. Do 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 do. Kaboom! Do 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 do. Kaboom! Do 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 do. Yes. Life support's looking good. I like those balls on all the scanners going backward and forward. I do like that. It shows that it's quite active and stuff is going on. That's quite nice to see. One. Now, if you're watching these live as they go up, do check the other ZXspectrum game we reviewed today. It's very different to this one. It's called Orc Attack. You control, a medieval guy on the top of the battlements trying to prevent orcs from climbing up the ramparts on their ladders and taking charge of the castle over different levels. That's quite a unique game, this one. So this is more advanced. I think that was in 1984. This one was 6 years later, so just showing you the difference in the ZXspectrum run. The games were getting quite advanced graphically by the stage, but they had to be because they were competing with the new 16-bit age, mainly from the Commodore Amiga and the Atari ST. I think I can get that green thing, but it's turned blue. It's turned yellow. It's turned red. It's turned lots of different colours. Oops, another UFO thing. Right, I got that. I'm not quite sure what it did. So blow everything up, tow planets to safety, and that's pretty much it really. And I think once you've done that, you'll be coming back for more. So there's a lot of playability here once you've learned fully what to do and the tactics to get the best out of it. So though I'm slightly bewildered, as I would have been as a kid on my first and second go, because that's what the channel's all about really, not expert gameplay, seeing how your first or second go would have been and would there have been enough there to return to it. So as I say, it would have been a little bit bewildering first of all. If you kept up the play and its attractiveness to make you want to go back, there's quite a bit of gameplay there. So it's a pretty good one, but a lot of an unknown one in terms of the era. It's one of those ones that you say, look, okay, if it come out 2 years, 3 years earlier, it might have got a bit more traction, but the game did have to be a bit special then graphically. So it's doing a lot in terms of the programming. This is on the 48K spectrum, remember. It's got good frame rate. Things are flying by quite fast, and it seems to be remembering where everything is. It's not cutting up at all. Occasional bit of colour clash, I suppose. It is drawing everything flying around, but not to a critical level. It's using enough of the screen that the ZXspectrum had in the older format screen. Be interested to see what the colours are like on the other versions, like Commodore 64 and the Amstrad CPC. Right, he's flying around. I'm getting a little bit bored now, mainly because I don't know what I'm doing, but that's my fault. Taking out another one of those. Good. We really should be towing more planets to safety, I think, and various different objects. But, you know, as a kid, you would have built up a backstory to what's going on. I would have called myself Captain Big Nose or Lord Raspberry or someone equally as impressive and flown the galaxy, ridding everything and blasting everyone that got in my way. Yeah, which there seems to be a lot of stuff getting in your way in this one. Would have made me like the levels to be a bit more simple or a bit more shorter, I suppose. Like the first one might have been like blow up 5 as an introduction, like blow up 5 saucer ships, get to the next stage, and it's the proper game there. That's just one thing, but it doesn't get in the way of what is a really good realised game. Hasn't aged particularly well, as a lot of them haven't, but from a historical point of view, a space shooter's point of view, it does have some kind of importance. But not as famous as Elite, which we mentioned a bit before. I don't know what these purple things are. Maybe like tribbles in space from Star Trek, maybe. Nice sound effect, that, as you're firing. Right, another blue thing. Or cyan. It's kaboomed. Didn't really offer too much of defence. Do have a look at the review of Bisconian, I think it's Bisconian 87. Not quite like this, but it's another one where it's scrolling around a big map in space. If you want a direct comparison there of what was available, what people were doing. I think that planet I can tow somewhere, but yes. He's flying around like a big Wally in space. You'd watch that film, wouldn't you? Big Wally in space. Not Wally from the Disney things. Wowzers. Yes. No online function to play this game against other people. You'd be surprised to see. It before those sort of times. You didn't need to do any upgrades, no DLCs, nothing like that. It was just you in space and nothing else. Well, sort of like cyberspace, I suppose, in this 8-bit world. £2.99 for the shooter. Is that good value? Yeah, I guess it is. Amiga games, what were they at that point? £10 to £20, maybe even a bit more. £24.99 to this at £3. I think that's reasonably priced. So yeah, a good value game. Lots to do there. A bit of a time waster too. You don't have to be an expert on it to survive at any distance. You won't be dying straight away. So it is quite inviting gameplay, it has to be said. Right, I think we'll leave that one there. I quite like that game, although, you know, you need a bit of time with it. That was Solar Empire on the ZXspectrum, published by Players Premier in 1990. Got any comments about this game, similar games, or anything retro, then please put that below. You're always more than welcome. Until next time, take great care of yourself, and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.